Welcome to the Yes Prep Virtual College Fair. My name is Jasmine. I'm going to serve as a facilitator for our session today. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping announcements. The first announcement, your camera and microphone are off, so our presenters cannot see or hear you. Second announcement, you can use the Q&A feature in Zoom to type your questions to our presenters at any point throughout our session today. Third announcement, this is just one of a few different sessions that we're offering, so feel free to visit our registration site to sign up for additional sessions. And finally, this presentation is being recorded, and you can access that recording by visiting the website on your screen, strivescan.com/yesprep. With all of that said, I want to go ahead and turn it over to our first presenter from Trinity University.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michaela Nip. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I'm an assistant director of admissions at Trinity University. I'm also a proud alumna of the class of 2016. I'm the admissions counselor that works with Yes Prep students, and Trinity is proud to be an impact partner school. Thank you also to my amazing colleagues that are on the call that are also impact schools. I know we're joined together with the commitment to help Yes students find the right college fit, and I'm really excited to be here. What I want to unpack today in our short time together is what makes Trinity stand out. And to me, it's really a combination of 5 things: our location, our academics, our size, our resources, and the diversity of our student body. We are a private secular institution located in the heart of San Antonio, Texas, the 7th largest city in the United States. It's hard to find a school like Trinity near an urban center, and we're right in the middle of it all. We're just 5 minutes from the airport in one direction and 5 minutes from downtown in the other. Students see the city as their playground to explore, but also as a place to grow through service, internships, and shadowing. San Antonio also has a rich history of over 300 years, a beautiful cultural vibrancy, and we're a great foodie city. Don't even get me started on breakfast tacos. I could talk your ear off about that. We are an undergraduate-focused institution of 2,500 students. At Trinity, you will learn in small class sizes where you can build genuine connections with faculty through a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We are very much rooted in the liberal arts, but consider our curriculum to be liberal arts plus, since we are also able to offer robust pre-professional programs of engineering, business, and our business program actually just received a $25 million donation just a couple weeks ago, computer science, education, and communication. We also have 2 advising programs, one for pre-law and one for health professions. We do not have program-based admissions. So at Trinity, you have access to all academic programs we offer before you declare your major in your sophomore year. While we may be a small school, we have resources that you might expect to see at much larger institutions. We have a $1.7 billion endowment, which you'll see in a variety of ways during your time at Trinity, from new buildings like our $127 million science facility or the humanities complex that's currently underway. We're also able to hire incredible faculty and, of course, provide generous financial aid, which we'll touch on in just a moment. We also invest in our students. Over 80% of our students will do research or internships during their time at Trinity, whether it be interning with the San Antonio Spurs or conducting research on bioluminescence. Our students can study abroad with one of over 200 programs on 6 continents, and our study abroad program is a home pay program, which means a semester abroad costs nothing different than a semester at Trinity. So financial aid and scholarships travel with you. The only additional cost is a plane ticket. We've even had students create their own companies through our robust entrepreneurship program and the Stumberg competition, where students can compete in a Shark Tank style competition to earn $25,000 to grow their own businesses. Within our 2,500 undergraduate students, We are so proud of the many facets of diversity brought to the table. It's important to us that our students are part of a community that looks, thinks, and behaves like the world they'll be entering in 4 years, from diverse backgrounds in terms of geography, religion, thought, race, ethnicity, gender, etc. Our students come from 48 states and over 40 countries. 40% of our students are non-white. 13% are first-generation college students, and 16% are Pell eligible. And we're committed to serving our students through a summer bridge program, in addition to on-campus resources, such as our Diversity and Inclusion Office and Academic Success Office. And through diversity and inclusion, there are many ongoing initiatives, such as the Social Justice Peer Education Program, our First Generation Underrepresented Students Program, they call themselves FIGS for short, and the Solidarity Summit, all of which are committed to supporting our students from diverse backgrounds, but also educating and training our faculty and staff on how to be better allies and support our students in and out of the classroom. As you can imagine from hearing about our student body, we have a vibrant social life, especially as a residential campus. Our students live on campus for 3 years and are guaranteed housing all 4. Residence halls are pretty swanky with walk-in closets and balcony spaces, very spacious. And our students can engage in over 115 clubs and organizations that encompass everything from Dungeons and Dragons Club to Greek life. And you'll find a ton of Tiger Pride in our Division III athletics program. When it comes to applying to Trinity, we strive to make that process as accessible as possible. First, there's no application fee to apply to Trinity. We're also on 3 application platforms, Apply Texas, Common App, and the Coalition, so that students can find us on multiple platforms that you might be using. There are no supplemental essays required, no wide Trinity essays required, and we are test optional for the 21-22 and the 22-23 application cycles. All students, even those applying test optional, are automatically considered for our merit scholarships ranging from $10,000 to $30,000 a year. And because of our endowment, we're able to offer robust merit and need-based aid. Our goal is to make Trinity as affordable as possible for as many families as we can. And again, we are a proud impact partner and will meet the full demonstrated need for Yes Prep students that are admitted as impact scholars. Hopefully in our time today, you can see how our Tigers are a force in motion. I look forward to working with you as you explore Trinity. If you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to me and I'll put my contact information into the chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michaela. Our next presenter is from Colby College.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mesa Rabinov. I am a Senior Assistant Director of Admission at Colby College up in Waterville, Maine. I'm so excited to spend a little bit of time with you today talking about Colby and some of the opportunities that are available both inside and outside of the classroom. We are a community of just about 2,000 students, and our students come from a variety of lived experiences and backgrounds. They represent 47 states and over 70 countries. They are over 10% first generation in their family to attend college, over 10% are Pell eligible, and just about 30% identify as students of color, with an additional 10% coming from around the globe. As a liberal arts college, the focus of academics on campus is on encouraging students to explore across disciplinary boundaries. And so the curriculum is really designed to encourage students to take classes in a variety of different disciplines, depending on what their interests are. So maybe you are a biology major who also has a love for theater or art history or psychology. Our goal is that you'll always be able to really celebrate and explore those different interests and passions to the fullest extent, while getting an immense amount of support from your faculty as well as your peers. It is a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio. The average class size is right around 19 students. And so you're really having the opportunity to form those meaningful relationships and connect with faculty in a really meaningful way to ensure academic success. Our faculty will host office hours every week, and there's also an open door policy, which means that at any time during the week, regardless of whether it's a scheduled office hour or not, as long as a faculty member's door is open, you are more than welcome to go in ask your questions, chat to them, get to know them. They are a wonderful resource and source of support for our students on campus, and they're very lucky to have them. And while we do have many of those sort of traditional characteristics of a small liberal arts college, so the small class sizes, the access to faculty that I've mentioned, there are a few really unique components about the academic program at Colby. And the first and sort of most popular program that Colby offers that really draws students to campus is our academic calendar. So we operate on a 4-1-4 academic calendar, which means that our students will take 4 classes in the fall, pursue an intensive academic or career-related experience during the month of January, and then we'll return to campus for the spring term and pursue another sort of 4 traditional courses. And so that January term, that term in between fall and spring semester, is a really wonderful opportunity for students to dive deeply into one particular subject area through a self-designed experience. So for example, we've had students who have gone and done internships or research across the globe. There are programs that will take students abroad for a research program. There's a popular geology research program in Bermuda, or they can take an intensive version of a class on campus. But it's a wonderful way to break up sort of the traditional schedule of an academic calendar, and again, give students that opportunity to step outside of their comfort zone a little bit. Research, internships, and global experiences, all of those pieces of experiential learning are also integrated into your semester year to year. And we feel lucky enough to be able to guarantee students a global experience as part of their time at Colby. So that means that regardless of your ability to pay, you will be guaranteed a global experience as part of your 4 years on campus. And those are in addition to our standard study abroad programs, where your financial aid will travel with you as well. So the goal is really to get students off campus as much as possible and into the world, applying what they're learning in the classroom to real world context, be that in the US or abroad. Outside of the classroom, it's a dynamic and vibrant campus community. We are entirely residential, which means all of our students live on campus all 4 years. And there are a number of student clubs and organizations that help facilitate fun for students in the times that they're not in class. That looks a bunch of different ways depending what your interests are, from the visual and performing arts to civic engagement, advocacy and activism, athletics. We are a Division III school in the NESCAC, which is the New England Small College Athletic Conference. And we encourage students to really take advantage of Maine and everything that the space around campus offers for students. Finally, in terms of the application process, we accept both the common application as well as the coalition application. And we are also a QuestBridge partner. There is no application fee or writing supplement associated with the Colby application, and we are a test optional institution, which means you have the opportunity to decide whether or not you'd like to submit standardized test scores for consideration as part of your application. And finally, in terms of need-based financial aid, we are an institution that meets 100% of demonstrated financial need for students without including loans in our financial aid packaging, which means all of the financial aid that students receive from Colby is either grant or work study, so money that you would never have to pay back to the college. And we end up being one of the most affordable four-year colleges in the United States. So I'm super excited to have spent a little bit of time with you today. I am your representative for Colby, so if there are questions, concerns that come up along the way, please feel free to let me know. I'm always happy to answer questions or chat with you anytime.
Thank you. Our next presenter is from Kenyon College.
Thank you, Jasmine. Good afternoon, everyone. And there we go. Okay, all right. All right, perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. I'll be presenting on behalf of Kenyon College as your admissions officer. And here's an overview of part of our campus at Kenyon. We sit on 1,000 acres. Part of this 1,000 acres, 600 acres of forest preserve, in which we refer to as the BFEC, Brown Family Environmental Center on campus, in which our students will often just hang out, conduct research. And a major part of our campus, actually the central artery middle path. So all of our academic buildings branch off the middle path. So does our library, our dining hall, residential housing as well. Therefore, if you need to get anywhere on campus, you'll take this stretch of a mile, and you'll be able to make it from one end to the other end, 16 minutes. We take pride in being a walking campus. Our middle path also extends to our downtown portion, in which you'll be able to find 3 of our restaurants on campus, a hotel, a bed and breakfast, our school bookstore at that, and our campus safety office as well. All right, so when it comes down to these numbers for student body, you have to ignore these numbers, slightly outdated, but we just recently jumped up to just barely touching 1,900 students, which still allows us to have an average classroom size of 15 students. We're looking at an 11-to-1 student faculty ratio. And continuing on with the areas of study, when it comes down to general requirements, we don't have them at Kenyon. In place of that, we have what we call a diversification requirement, which requires students to take 2 courses across our 4 divisions, being natural sciences, social sciences, fine arts, and humanities. Like I said, this isn't by accident whatsoever. We encourage exploration throughout our curriculum, and a number of our students stumble upon passions in which they're able to convert into majors, minors, even concentrations as well. So like I had mentioned earlier, average classroom size of 15 students. It's impossible to hide in the classroom at Kenyon. Classes are going to be very discussion-based, and our students certainly hold each other accountable when it comes down to getting the reading done and being able to contribute to the conversation taking place in the class. Continuing on with our students and student employment opportunities. So we have the Kenyon Review literary magazine on campus. And a part of the student employment, 84 of our students are employed as first readers for this world-renowned journal that receives 9,000 submissions any given year. And in addition to our Kenyon Review associates, we also have 50 interns for our gun gallery, in which, adds towards professional development and makes them that much more competitive for outside scholarships as well, or scholarships and internships. All right, so continuing on for summer scholars. So summer scholars will consist of students conducting research throughout humanities, natural sciences, social sciences, and we're looking at around 75 to 90 students any given summer. And a part of being selected as a summer scholar, you'll receive a $3,500 stipend as well. So when it comes down to dining on campus, one of the main benefits of being in rural central Ohio, we're able to work with our surrounding community and local farmers, which allows us to have 46% of our food locally grown and sourced within a 50-mile radius. For athletics, we have 22 varsity teams, 11 women, 11 men. In addition to that, we also have club sports in which a number of our students also participate in, being that 30% of our students are recruited athletes, and then another third of our students are active throughout intramural. So we have a very active campus. Continuing on with community involvement, like I had mentioned earlier, with us being located in central Ohio, an hour outside of Columbus, Ohio, it's really our responsibility and obligation to keep our students just as engaged outside of the classroom as y'all will be inside of the classroom. A part of that is the number of events that our student affairs puts on throughout the school year. We're looking at 245 different events, not including varsity sports. These events will range from art exhibits, concerts, film showings, lectures, theater performances as well. Any given year, 30 to 35 different theater performances. And of those 30 to 35, only 8 of them are faculty directed. Continuing on, you'll see a picture of our community show choir. You also see a Kenyan band performing right here. And then wrapping up with the ultimate goal as far as retention rate being at 89%. Young alumni finding their work satisfying, 88%. And for students continuing their education right after Kenyon, 20% of our students will apply to grad school right after finishing at Kenyon. But that number jumps up to 70% of our students attending grad school within 5 years of graduating from Kenyon. So I tell students all the time, whether you plan on attending grad school or not, you might as well, just come to terms that you're going to do it. And wrapping up with the financial aid piece, application portion as well, we're looking at no supplements. We are test optional, and we meet 100% need like so many of our peers as well. And I'd like to thank y'all so much for y'all's time. I'll be sure to include my information in the chat as y'all's admissions officer. And thank you. Jasmine, you've got it.
Thanks, Guy. Our next presenter is from Swanni, the University of the South.
All right, good morning. Hi, everyone. My name is Nancy, and I am a senior, I'm an associate director of admission at Swanni. I am also a Swanni alumna. I graduated in 2011. I have been working with Yes Prep students for 10 years now, and it is one of my favorite aspects of my job. So I'm excited to have a chance to engage with you today, even if it is just virtually. Swanni is such a unique place that I feel like you really need to be able to see it to fully understand it. So I'm going to show you a video today that will give you some basic information about Swanni and hopefully pique your interest so that if you have questions or want to follow up with me after this session today, I look forward to engaging with you. So without further ado, we're going to watch through the Swanni lens.
Hi, I'm Taylor Baird. I'm a graduate of Swanni and I currently work in the Office of Admission. And I get to tell you a little bit about my home for the past 10 years. You might be thinking, Swanni, the University of the South. What does that entail? The University of the South is so much more than a campus that we had to create new words for it. It's the mountain. It's our home on the Cumberland Plateau. It's the domain, situated between Nashville and Chattanooga. It's a working farm, a 13,000-acre forest, a natural playground with trails to hike and rocks to climb. But above all, it's a community. That's Swanni. And it's a place that I hope you'll consider calling home one day too. The domain is where we live, eat, research, recreate, reflect, and compete. I mean, 30% of our students are scholar athletes competing on one of our Division III varsity athletic teams. It's a lot, and we like it that way. Our university motto, Eke Quam Bonum, or EQB, ensures that we push each other and appreciate each other while dwelling together in unity. You'll be sharing Swanni with about 1,700 other 17 to 22-year-olds and the broader community. So there's rarely a dull moment here. While we're nestled in Tennessee, you're still going to be encouraged and expected to engage with the global community. We want you to address global issues and engage in a way that connects Swanni with the rest of the world. This is a place where everybody stands up for what they think and for what they believe in. That dialogue across difference and that true discourse is the environment that we strive to cultivate. For example, we have deep roots with the Episcopal Church, but we know that it's important to create a healthy interfaith environment here for students as well. With the combination of intellectual rigor and community, Swanni will help you figure out who you are. As an institution, we've been exploring who we've been and who we are. We want to model that for students, that you're exploring those questions, and that asking questions and seeking solutions is commonplace. You can do that at Swanni because your professors are teachers and mentors first and researchers second. We believe in educating the whole person through the liberal arts education. That's what happens when you engage with your professors. You get out into the field and you wrestle with the questions that the world hasn't figured out the answers to yet. It's in that process that you will enhance your studies, hone your skills, and increase your postgraduate prospects. In hoping that you'll engage that way, we've made a commitment to you, the Swanni Pledge. And the commitment is simple. We pledge to provide funding for a summer internship or research opportunity during your time at Swanni. We also pledge that you'll be able to make global connections by providing access to a semester-long study abroad program at no additional tuition cost. And finally, we pledge that you'll graduate in 4 consecutive years with at least one major. If you do not, you can study for an additional year at Swanee and no additional tuition costs. At Swanee, if you give your best in good faith, we will honor that dedication and effort. You won't even have to compete with graduate students for these opportunities, and in many cases, worry about the funding that make them possible. Swanee believes in access as much as we do excellence, which is why we're committed to meeting 100% of demonstrated financial need for all admitted first-year students. We also recognize academic achievement, so in addition to need-based aid, we do offer academic scholarships as well. Our goal is to accept the most talented students for whom Swanee is the best choice, and then to provide the financial aid package that makes it possible for you to enroll here. That's the Swanee lens. We want to find strong fit students and guide you through the search and application process. Swanee is a common application school and there's no fee to apply. We also know that test scores aren't always the best indicator of a student's academic success. That's why at Swanee we're test optional. That allows you to choose to submit the ACT, SAT, or no scores at all. So if you're ready to take this journey and opt into this experience, I hope you'll choose to apply to Swanee. I can't wait to see how you'll make this place your home and bring your perspective to our community.
All right. Thanks so much, guys, for joining me. I look forward to continuing the conversation with you as you navigate your college search process. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Nancy. Our next presenter is from Washington and Jefferson College.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nicole. I'm an Associate Director of Admission at Washington and Jefferson College, and I too have been a Yes Prep participant now for about 5 years. I'm so very excited to be with you all virtually. I'll go through pretty quickly, but just like everyone else, I will leave my contact information if you have any follow-up questions. Where are we located? We're located in Washington, Pennsylvania, which is down in the bottom left-hand corner of the state, which Washington is located in Washington County. So we are the county seat. This is where our courthouse is located, lots of locally owned shops, restaurants, businesses, a weekly farmer's market, but you also have access to a Target and a Walmart and a bunch of chain restaurants within walking distance of campus as well. We're just 25 minutes outside of the city of Pittsburgh. It's one straight shot. I always tell students I live in Pittsburgh and commute to Washington. So it's that close that, some of us are able to go back and forth pretty easily. We are located in the midst of a bunch of other large cities that are all driving distance. So there's always a weekend getaway opportunity. There's always a chance for the college to sponsor some type of weekend getaway for students. And this is a picture of downtown Pittsburgh, if you're not familiar. Couple fun facts about the city. We're a #1 travel destination for your generation. We're a foodie city. We have a lot of festivals, but it's not on here. We're also consistently ranked one of the most affordable cities to live in. So for our students who are coming from further away, like all of you, you may want to stick around after you graduate from W&J. We were founded in 1781 as 2 separate colleges, and in 1865 we merged together. You'll hear us call ourselves the presidents, and you'll hear us say Juncta Juvent, which means thriving together. It's our school motto. We are a liberal arts college. We have a 10-to-1 student faculty ratio. About 75% of our classes have less than 20 students in them. And 98% of our faculty members have terminal degrees, which means they have gone as far as they possibly can in their area of expertise, and they're teaching you with that area of expertise. Here's a list of all of our programs. I'll leave this on while I talk for just a minute so you can take a look, but we do offer over 30 majors, over 30 minors, a number of pre-professional programs and concentrations and emphases. So you really do have an opportunity to personalize your educational experience, whether it's for what you want to do when you grow up or just what you're interested in as an 18 to 22-year-old. All of our students will take on at least 2 areas of study, so a major and a minor, or some combination of a double major, a major and 3 minors, whatever you want to do, you can. Here is a list of our pre-professional and special programs: engineering, education, pre-health, and pre-law. Most of these programs, you'll spend 3 to 4 years at W&J studying whatever you want to major in conjunction with these pre-professional requirements. And then we do have some partnerships listed, most of which are schools in the Pennsylvania area or surrounding areas, but we do have partnerships with Washington University in St. Louis, Case Western Reserve University, and Columbia University as well. Sorry, I'm currently in a high school. The Magellan Project is one of our opportunities for study abroad. Students can do this up to 3 times after freshman year, after sophomore year, and after junior year. It takes place over the summer. It's an independent research or internship opportunity open to all students. And here are some examples of really cool experiences our students have had, but the best part is it doesn't have to be academic. It can just be something that you're interested in doing or an internship anywhere in the world. So I'm sure you guys can already think of some things that you would dream of doing sometime in your college career. Almost half of our students study abroad. You can do the Magellan Project, you can do J-term, which is like a 2-week mini semester. You could do a semester or you can do a year. You can study abroad as early as January of your freshman year, and you're allowed to study abroad up to 50% of your semesters, or in addition to 4 J-terms, 3 Magellans, and then either, like 4 semesters or 2 full years abroad. So lots of opportunities to leave campus as well. We have over 70 clubs and organizations, including performing arts, academics, athletic clubs and organizations, community service. We also have some special interest groups like a coloring club for our students. We have 26 NCAA Division III sports. These are our varsity sports, 13 men's and 13 women's, very competitive. And Navigate and Embark are 2 programs that we offer to every single student at WNJ. They're 2 holistic advising programs where you will meet with our Center for Career and Professional Development throughout your 4 years, both in class and on your own, and develop skills like, of course, your resume and your cover letter, but also like how to write a check and how to rent your first apartment, how to buy your first car, and important skills like that some of us have to learn the hard way. So you'll have all of that before you graduate. 97% are employed or continuing their education within 6 months, 90% pre-health and 90% medical and law school acceptance for over 20 years now, and 100% of our students who have applied to graduate school have got in. Really quickly, I'll go through the application process, but as many of the others on this call, we are a member of the Common App, and we also have our own application. They come into us exactly the same way, so no preference. All we require is the application itself and your high school transcript. Everything else is optional. We've been test optional for 10 years now, so that's never going to change. Regardless of when or how you apply, you'll receive your decision in 2 weeks, so very quick turnaround process. And here are all of our academic scholarships awarded to students. Every single student who is accepted to WNJ receives one of these scholarships. So if you're accepted, I can guarantee you at least $23,000, if not all the way up to $34,000 in academic scholarships every year of attendance at WNJ. Couple important dates. I'm sure your counselors have kept you up to date on all of this. But I do want to encourage you all to visit. We do offer a virtual visit for all of our on-campus visits now. And we do offer a $1,000 visit grant for students who attend either in-person or virtual visits. So a chance to visit campus from Texas, which is great. So thank you guys for listening, and good luck today.
Thank you, Nicole. Our next presenter is from the University of Virginia.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jasmine. And thank you all so much for sticking around to hear from us. I'm so grateful to be with you here today and to be joining you from here in Charlottesville, Virginia, which is where the University of Virginia is located. So I'm going to just sort of begin by giving you a brief overview of the University of Virginia. So UVA is a flagship state research university with a focus on the undergraduate experience. That is a lot of admission jargon words, but for you all who are considering where you're going to call home and the place that you're going to study for the next period in your lives, there are a few things that are important to know. First and foremost, there is no single institution that is the University of Virginia. We are composed of a bunch of different schools. These schools aren't separate. You'll be living with people across schools. You'll be taking classes across the schools. You can even double major across the schools. But those different schools are going to have different faculty that might have very niche interests of expertise or areas of study. And as undergraduate students, you're going to have access to all of them. While we do have a few graduate programs, we have a medical school, we do have a law school, we do have a business school here at the university. The vast majority of students here are undergraduate students, those folks who are coming right out of high school and pursuing bachelor degrees, and all of those research opportunities and opportunities to participate in running the university are for you all as undergraduates students. We really like to think that we're the best of both worlds and sort of offering all of the opportunities that come along with being a large research university, but with that tight, intimate classroom experience that you can find at an institution that's dedicated to the liberal arts. So I do want to go over just a few numbers here that I think might be significant to you all. As you can see, we do have about 18,000 undergraduate students. So there's always new people to meet and new things to do. But as you can see, most of our classes are still going to be quite small. You're going to be in tight discussion at classes. You're going to get to know your professors quite well here. And as you can see, students here tend to stick around. 97% will remain after their first year, and 95% will go on to graduate on time. So we're really proud of those numbers, and I think they really speak to the level of support that are here for our students. The last thing I do want to note, as you can probably see, we are a 2/3 Virginian. We are a state university, so that means that we do sort of have that relationship with the Commonwealth of Virginia, but 1/3 of our student body, which is over 6,000 students, it's not just a few students, it's very many students, are coming to us from all over the world. So while we are a state institution, we are also a global institution. In every incoming class, we tend to have just about every state represented, as well as over 100 different countries around the world. So a very dynamic, diverse student body here at the university. I'm going to jump in and cover a brief academic overview of the University of Virginia, just so you get a sense of what you can and might study here. As I mentioned, there are a number of different schools here at the university where you can pursue a ton of different majors and minors and concentrations. We don't ask you to pick a major when you apply to the university, because we know that most 17-year-olds are going to change their mind, and that's okay. If you're really lucky like me, you're going to change your mind 3 times when you're in college. There are a couple curriculums here that begin in your first year. So we do ask you to pick a school here at the university to apply to. You can see those on the left-hand side. Those are going to be the School of Engineering, the School of Architecture, the School of Nursing, and the kinesiology program here at the university are going to have curriculums that begin in that first year. Beyond that, you're going to declare your major after you get here. So you're going to have time to try things out, see what you like, see what you don't like. The vast majority of our students are going to enter in the College of Arts and Sciences here, where you won't declare your major until the end of your 4th semester. We do also have some more specific pre-professional options that are called our upper divisional programs. And those are going to be programs that students will enter after doing 2 years in the College of Arts and Sciences to spend their 3rd and 4th year here at the university. So those are our undergraduate business program, our School of Education, our School of Leadership and Public Policy, and our School of Data Science. There is a ton to do outside the classroom here at UVA, and we consider the outside of the classroom education the most important piece of the educational experience here. While there are a large number of students here, an incredible amount of them are doing research. So about 70% of those students, all students will do research with a faculty member during their time here. We also have about 70% of our students do internships here in Charlottesville and in the Commonwealth and in Washington, DC as well. We also have about 40% of our undergraduate students study abroad. Our clubs and organizations are really important to university life as well. We have what we call a culture of student self-governance, which is really just a fancy way of saying that students are participating in running the university at every level. So when you come to UVA, we expect you to have a sense of ownership over the university. This is your university, and we want you to make the university what you want it to be during your time here. I'll talk briefly about what people do here at UVA. There's a ton to do at the university and a ton to do beyond it here in Charlottesville. So whether that's watching and cheering on one of our national championship athletic teams, whether that's participating in the thriving arts community here in Charlottesville, or whether that's going out into the Blue Ridge Mountains and going hiking, you will never be bored here at the University of Virginia. One last thing I want to mention is that we are one of the only public universities that is both need blind in our admission review, meaning we admit students regardless of whether or not their families can afford a university education. And we're committed to meeting 100% of demonstrated need for all US citizens and permanent residents who apply. So please don't let cost be a factor in your decision as to whether or not to apply to the university. We are also a QuestBridge partner school if you are applying via the QuestBridge program. I'm going to end so that we can get on to answering your questions, but thank you so much for sticking around to talk to us.
Thank you, Thomas. So that concludes the presentation portion of our session today. But now we're going to transition to the Q&A. So I want to encourage all of our presenters to return. Feel free to turn on your camera and I'll pose a question to the group. Our presenters will respond to the question in the order in which they presented. So we'll start with Trinity, move to Colby, move to Kenyon, Swanni, and then University of Virginia. The question is, what advice do you have for people going through the college search process?
So there is a quote that I absolutely love, and I'm sure you've heard it before, but it's that college is a match to be made, not a prize to be won. And that is probably the best piece of advice, that there is the right match, the right fit for every single student in terms of their next step in education. I feel like sometimes this process feels so stressful. You think, oh, there's only one fit or only one path, but there truly is going to be a path and a match for you. So that's the advice I have, is a quote that I certainly did not come up with myself, but I really do appreciate. Again, college is a match to be made, not a prize to be won.
I think for me, the advice that I always give students, especially as they're sort of embarking on the sort of biggest part of the application, is just not to forget your why. It becomes really stressful. It starts moving really quickly. And there's a lot that can happen between now and when decisions are released, but holding on to that why and really remembering why it is that you're putting in the work, that you've put in the work, not just this last year, but all of the years leading up to sort of submitting these applications. Hold on to that and remind yourself of that why. And everyone's is different, but keeping that sort of close to you as you make your way through the process is, I think, a really important thing that students often forget to do.
I would like to add making connections with students. The relationships that y'all are forming with us as your admissions officers are great. We're going to be y'all's go-to for any questions throughout the application process. We'll even connect you with student affairs when it comes down to residential housing. But each student at each university, each college has their story and their perspective of the environment and the community that we're constantly speaking on. So speaking with as many different individuals at different levels as possible will certainly benefit y'all.
All right, so my best piece of advice is to don't take college admission advice from your friends ever. So this college search process is yours and it's yours alone. Utilize your team. So, connect with college counselors, connect with, your parents, connect with your admission counselors. But when it comes to taking advice from your friends, remember that they're making their decisions based off their own interests and what might be the best fit for them. And that's not necessarily what's best for you. So utilize your team. Don't necessarily rely on your friends.
And Thomas, you can go ahead and go next.
Awesome. Sorry about that. So I would just echo all the fantastic things that my colleagues have already said, but I'll also just say there are so many fantastic schools out there for you. Think about what you're looking for in your search and find a whole list of schools in which you're going to find those things and you're going to thrive. There's no one school that's the perfect fit for everyone. Chances are there are going to be a whole bunch of options where you would be equally as successful and equally as phenomenal. So don't be afraid to spread your net wide rather than focus on just one school.
Thank you all for the advice. So we are approaching the end of our virtual college fair today. Of course, we were unable to answer all of the questions, but I would encourage our attendees to visit the websites and connect with the admissions rep if you have additional questions. Before we go, I have a few closing announcements. As you exit from this Zoom session, a survey will appear. It's approximately 5 questions or so, but please complete the survey. It's extremely helpful as we aim to improve our virtual college fair offerings in the future. Also want to remind you that you can visit our registration site to sign up for additional sessions. And then finally, you can access this recording by visiting the website on your screen, strivescan.com/yesprep. I want to thank all of our presenters for joining us, but again, thank you to our attendees for taking time out of your busy day. I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you.